Show, and I'm excited first to welcome my co-host Sherry from Storehouse Media Groups. Sherry, how are you? I know you're excited about our guest, and I think he's more excited than anybody right now. But how are you, Sherry?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, and we have psychic Matt Fraser on, and his book is launching. Matt, that's got to feel like a lot of weight off your shoulders whenever a book, something like a project like this, finally gets launched.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what's so funny is that this is now my fourth book, and every time you write a book, when you're done with the last page, you're like, I don't think I'm going to do this again. I think I'm going to wait a couple of years. I don't think I have anything else to write about. And then literally 6 months later, you're like, oh my God, I have this amazing idea for a new book. So they just have been rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling on out. And, I just am so thankful for the amazing feedback that I've gotten. It was really the fans and followers who had made my last book a New York Times bestseller that I wanted to write this one as well.
All right, go ahead, Sherry, with your first question.
So, do you think it's heading in that direction to New York Times bestseller?
Well, I don't know. The audience is the judge. I never dreamed that the last book would have made it to the New York Times bestseller list because it's such a hard thing to get on. So the weird part was, I'll never forget it, when my last book, We Never Die, came out, I told my friends and family, I said, listen, go to the stores and buy the book. So this way it helps me get to the list. And my sister called me. She goes, all right, I'm going to go and buy your book this morning. I'm going to go to the coffee shop and then head to the bookstore. And my sister called me from Massachusetts, and she's like, Matt, I can't find your book. It's not on the shelf. She said that they just sold the last copy. And then my grandmother called up in Maine, and she's like, hey, she goes, I went to buy your book today. She's like, and they don't have any in stock. She says, it's out of stock. And I'm like, what's going on? All my friends and family couldn't get the book. And then all of a sudden, we sold like 30,000 copies in one day. It was unbelievable. It was the most amazing moment. And I think that it really shows that people are interested in this. People really want to know what happens when you die, what happens when we leave this world. Are my loved ones are at peace? And that's why I got the idea to write Don't Wait Till You're Dead, because there's so much that we can learn from the other side about living our best life now and about our journey here on Earth.
And I love your point, living our best life now. And it's really your life. It's not everyone and anyone else around you. It's your life, how you want to live it, and how you can achieve in life in anything. Just do it.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. What people don't realize is that when you're born here in this world, you're born with certain God-given gifts, but also there's a roadmap of your life. When you're born, you're assigned a spirit guide. And a spirit guide is a person that once lived life as well, just like you and me, died, is on the other side, and has chosen you to watch over. And when I say that they have a roadmap of your life, it's because they know the places you're supposed to go, the opportunities that will present themselves, and they also know who your soulmate is, where you're going to end up in 5 years, what's going to happen in the future. So what's really cool is that everything in our life has meaning and purpose. The challenges that you go through, the struggles that you go through, what you think is so bad right now is actually a stepping stone to something greater in the future and later on.
And Sherry, as that's the thing we talk about a lot, Sherry, when we talk is hope, right, Sherry?
That is and the dream and hitting the dream. And speaking of a dream, Matt, congratulations on the New York Times bestseller for your last book. That is quite a coup. So congratulations on that. But getting back to, it's also like living your life now, but how are you going to leave your life? Thinking about that, when you leave, behind. So, you've written several books, and coming from the book world, I'm curious, what is your process of writing a book?
That's a really good question. I haven't been asked that before. So I'm a talker. I'm not a writer. So I actually have a ghostwriter that I work with, and I speak the book, and she transcribes it and writes everything down and makes it look pretty, because I just have never had the gift of actually writing. So when you read my books, it really sounds like I'm talking to you. It sounds like I'm the same way that I'm talking to you right now, because that's how the book was created. That's how the book was made. So I found that people really like that because instead of it just being, an informational read, it's more like having a conversation.
That's huge. A conversation. But that's what we all have to do, Matt. On social media, we need to have a conversation with people. A book, podcast, being on stage, we got to have a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely. And also, not only just that, but also really dive into things that people want to know and want to hear. So, for example, this book, Don't Wait Till You're Dead, the reason why I decided to write it was really because after writing my first book, everybody kept running in on social media and asking me about this process that we go through called the life review. And I mentioned it a little bit in my last book, but I didn't go into depth. I didn't go into depth on it. So this new book is all about the life review, which a lot of people don't even know what it is. And the life review is actually the last step during our transition to heaven and the afterlife. The moment that we pass on and we meet our spirit guides, our loved ones, our angels, our pets, we go through this life review, which is the reason why a lot of times you'll hear people talk about their life flash before their eyes during a near-death experience or a close call. Well, what a life review is that the moment that we pass on, we go into this dreamlike state where we're shown everything from the moment that we're born to the moment that we passed away and everything in between. We see things like what would have happened if I married my high school sweetheart instead of being with my husband or wife now? What would have happened if I left that job or I didn't go to college or I went on this pathway instead of that pathway? What would have happened if I didn't have the children that I have now? How would my life have been different? And you see all different avenues of your life, and you also reflect. You see the people that you've helped, the people who have helped you, the people that you hurt, the people that screwed you over. You see everything, and suddenly everything in your life makes sense. And you also see your life purpose and why you're put here on earth.
Working with authors, one of the things that there's a struggle is coming up with a really good title and a catchy title. How do you come up with yours? Is it something that just pops in your head? Because that happens to some people. Or is it a strategy that you pull it together?
There's no strategy behind it. It really is just feeling it and while you're writing the book. I mean, I think it's a little bit different because I'm a medium. So what happened to me is, I was writing the book. It was originally, I knew I wanted to write about the life review. So I had a working title called The Life Review. And then as I was writing the book and writing the book and writing the book, there was one overall message that kept coming up. And it was, don't wait till you're dead. Do it now. There's still time for you. And that's how the name of the book really came to be.
Wow, Matt. And what's the feedback if people have read the book so far? Like they got the opportunity to take a look at it and stuff.
Emotional. I think that this is the most emotional book that I've written because not only do you read about it, it's you actually go through it. So at the end of the book, I bring you through your own life review, through all of the challenges, all of the mistakes, all the success, all the failure, everything that you've had in your life. We go back through your own life, and there's exercises in there to see what you're missing, what you did that was great, what you did that was not so great, and how you can use that information to make changes now. Because souls do have regrets in the afterlife. There are things that souls wish that they would have done differently. And that being said, their one message to us on the other side is that they want to stop us before we head down a similar path.
All right. Best place people can connect with you, purchase your book and all that stuff. It's available in all finer bookstores, Amazon, all that places. But where can people find you?
So listen, you don't have to be dead to find me. You can find me right on my website, meetmattfraser.com. So meetmattfraser.com is the best place. And on there, you'll find tour dates, online readings, and, of course, all my books.
Awesome. And last, what tip do you offer our listeners and viewers, especially on my YouTube channel as well, regarding living your life?
So I think the best thing to tell people, or the best thing that you can learn, is that everything in life happens for a reason, and that don't let today's worries trickle into tomorrow. Every day there's something different. Every day is like a reset. How can you better live your life now? Well, you don't have to do it alone. You have angels, loved ones, and spirit guides with you every single day. sometimes when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling alone, when you're feeling anxious or nervous, close your eyes and let the universe lead you.
All right. Thanks again. Appreciate it, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show. We'll be back in just a moment.